Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Odyssey. Oh no, I'm sorry. Hopefully, you've already seen that one. Anybody here for the Three Amigos? Yes? Okay, good. How many people here are seeing the movie for the first time, just out of curiosity? A couple hands? Great. How many people love this movie and are really excited to see it again? All right, good. That's what we're here for, is that blend. My name's Eric Cohn. If you don't know me, I'm the artistic director here at the Southampton Playhouse. And I want to start out by thanking our friend Abby Russell and the Sticks and Stones Comedy Club, Hampton's Comedy Festival, for partnering with us on this series. It's one of many fun partnerships we've done this summer. And before we get into tonight's event, I just wanted to quickly tell you about a few other things that are right around the corner as this summer wraps up. We are open all year round, so there's lots of good stuff coming up in the fall. But this summer, there's a lot of good things happening even this week. So on Friday, if you're a member, our next monthly member movie club is Friday evening. And we had a really lovely membership conversation last month where everyone brought their profoundly complicated opinions about new movies and favorite movies and movies they didn't like and movies that they loved. And we all talked about them. And I really encourage you, if you're not already a member, to consider signing up. There's still time before Friday and a little space left. When you're a member, you get special access to all kinds of good stuff. Members got early access to see Tony, which opens this weekend last night. They were among the first people to see The Odyssey, and lots of other good perks come out of that. So check that out, because like I said, we are a nonprofit, and that really means that we're a two-way street. So with your support, we get to do all this great programming, and also allows us to do things like having The Odyssey playing on the only IMAX in the Hamptons and having Three Amigos right across the hallway. So in terms of other stuff, next week is a busy one. We've got two big anniversary screenings on Monday night. We're showing the extended theatrical cut of Aliens. That's Aliens with an S, the second one, not the first one, Alien. This is a movie that I know a lot of people in this community remember seeing in this theater, but they would not have seen the cut that we're showing. This is a really cool, exciting, extended cut. And the producer, Galen Hurd, who also produced the Terminator movies and a bunch of other good stuff, it's going to be here in person to introduce that screening. So whether you've seen Aliens before or it would be your first time, I highly recommend you come out. It's going to be a really fun and creepy night. And then on Tuesday, we have another one of our series that we've been doing is coming to a head with our Tuesday Tune series. That's our classic musical series. We are showing Sweet Charity. If you check our social media accounts, you'll see a very special introduction to the movie from no less than Shirley MacLaine. It is an amazing performance. It was Bob Fosse's first film as a director, and it's such a wonderful musical experience. It's also the one film that got Cy Coleman, if you're a musical theater junkie, you know who that is, his Oscar nomination. And his widow, Shelby Coleman's going to be here, and she has a great talk she's putting together about his whole history with that project. So if you like musicals, you're going to want to be here on Tuesday. And one more plug, Thursday, we've been doing this series called Road Warriors with our friends from the Southampton Auto Group, which is all about fast cars and memorable drivers. And we've had some really fun experiences, like some of you may have been here when we showed Bullet and we had a 64 Porsche outside. Well, on Thursday, we're going to have a checker cab out front before we screen Taxi Driver on 35 millimeter film in this room. And the writer of that movie, Paul Schrader, is going to be here in person to talk about it. So that one is selling out fast. I highly encourage you, if you're interested, come check it out. If you haven't seen Taxi Driver, it's one that'll really stick with you. But so will this movie. And with this series, what we've been trying to do is really add another dimension to what it means to be a classic comedy. Comedy is something that is not just about what's in front of you on a screen. I think a lot of times we get too used to thinking of this sort of static thing. It's a two-way street, and a lot of that is thanks to the kind of energy that people bring to these things. And that's where comedians come into the picture. And we wanted to link the sort of act of the art of stand-up comedy with the experience of watching funny movies by inviting great stand-up comedians, whether you know them or not, to come to this stage and provide new context, so that as you watch this movie, you are also discovering incredible talent. And, honestly, I think that in a way, tonight's presenter is even more exciting than the film itself. But after you hear her presentation, you will be in the perfect mindset to watch a movie that is so exciting and fun and full of life and so hilarious like the Three Amigos. Generally speaking, I would not introduce someone by mentioning their age, but I think it's okay in this case because she is the Guinness Book of World Records holder for the oldest working comic. Please join me in welcoming Dion Forrest.
Can you hear me? Oh gosh, yeah. Hi everybody. Hi, it's so good to see you. It's been a beautiful day and now we're having a beautiful evening. And I'm Dion Forrest and I'm your host for tonight's film called Three Amigos. And let me introduce myself. I'm a comedian in New York City, 92, and I like to put out the age right away in case I don't make it through the movie. These days, everybody is always asking me the same thing. Hey, Dion, why you still working? Why aren't you traveling? Why you still working at 92? Well, obviously, I'm still paying back my student loans. Yeah. And the bank, oh, they're always after me. They're going pushy and they say, "Hey, Dion, don't you want to make two payments a month? Won't that make you feel good?" And I say, "No. What makes one feel good at this age is a nice long blood infusion, and that and a Brazilian wax, and I'm a new woman." Yeah, well, at this age, though, the real problem is short term memory. At this age, the real problem is short term memory. Yeah. And some of my friends are worse than me. One of them called me up the other day and they said, "Oh, Dion, do you know my daughter?" And I said, "Oh, sure." "Well, she's coming over for a surprise visit. I can't remember her name." Ah, oh, I forget why I'm up here. I'm going to introduce this movie, The Three Amigos. And to tell the truth, I didn't know anything about it. I was born in 1934. All the people born in 1934, only 1% are still alive. But I'm still alive, but I never saw that movie. So it's an American comedy, American Western, and it's directed by, as they say, John Landis, and it's starring Steve Martin and Chevy Chase and Martin Short. And what they do is they act in as though they are big guys in Mexico. They're not even from Mexico. And they play a trio that fights injustice and suffering. And they don't look Mexican, of course, as you know, in the least. But the people in this village, for some odd reason, there's something happens. They believe that these three guys are going to get rid of El Guapo. El Guapo is this big Mexican guy who's killing everybody and torturing everybody. So these three comedians are going to go and get rid of the bad guys. That's how the film starts, and it received mixed reviews first in the 1986, and but it gained a strong following. It made money, And what the people like about it is the absurdist humor. And believe me, it's absurdist humor. And the ensemble performances, and they had some music through the show. It's a real sort of crazy musical, 1986. And you can see that young people now, it's becoming a cult following, and they go to school, the freshmen at college, and they get really turned on by this movie. So, well, my friends are always telling me well, that I shouldn't talk about sex, and that I'm too old for sex. No, 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 no. My rule is it ain't over till the fat lady's dead. Well, oh, I'm sorry, back to the Amigos. I'm trying to do this film. And Steve Martin wrote the script with Lorne Michaels and Randy Newman, and they did 3 songs at the ballad of the Three Amigos, My Little Buttercup, and it isn't the Little Buttercup that we grew up with, believe me, it's another one, and Blue Shadows, and Randy Newman plays the bush. There's a singing bush in the film, not to be, don't mess up with Carlton Heston, who was in the Ten Commandments. And then Steve Martin performs all of his own, what is it, lasso? Lasso? How do you say the word? Lasso. Thank you, I'm learning English. Lasso tricks. And there are no stunt. He does all his tricks, and he learned it being in Disneyland when he was very young. And then Martin Shorts became a star after SNL, starting during this film. And Chevy Chase said this was the most fun of making a film that he ever had. But he'd get mad if he didn't get the line that he wanted and somebody else got it. So they started to become friends, these 3 guys in the film. And the casting was very different at the beginning. First they had Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi. And then Belushi died. This was at the beginning. So John Candy was going to play one of the parts. But then he declined the role. He didn't like the costume. So they recommended Martin Short, who's in the film. So this is what goes on with the movie before it got started in 1986. And these 3 guys who were in the movie then became friends for the rest of their lives, and one of them is dating Meryl Streep, so they all get along. I want to tell you that they worked together in the film, and what got me about it, it's absurdist comedy, which is a different kind of comedy than I hadn't seen in years. So that's what to me was very, very interesting about the film. So from everybody now from Orion Pictures, 1986, this is Three Amigos. Thank you. Thank you.